Hey guys, I needed to dye my hair and I also wanted to answer some happier frequently asked questions. So we're going to have a conversation in my echoey bathroom with the camera at a weird angle while I dye my hair. I'm going to start by doing this and then shush, and then we'll talk about actual gap year things, which is what you're probably here for. Put on the gloves. These are my gloves. I've used these before, but the gloves that they always give me are always way too big. I haven't got a particular, I messaged people being like, what particular part of my gap year would you want me to talk about? But I got a load of mixed answers, so I'm just going to answer some general frequently asked questions about my gap year. The first being, why did I take one? I get that one quite often. Why did you take a gap year when you can just go straight into your degree? My question in response to that would be, why would you go straight into your degree when you can take a gap year? I think it's a really good idea to get a lot of things done. There's a lot of education things that I want doing, like online courses, which I've been doing, and things like that, which I'm getting done before I start my degree. I can also learn how to drive, which I'm not sure if I'm going to do yet, but that is something else that I can also do. I can also travel with absolutely nothing to stop me. I'm going to, actually, when you watch this video, I will be in Brussels, and I can just do that. The only thing stopping me is money, which is another reason why I took a gap year, so I could save up some money, but I don't think I'm going to have any saved by the end of this year, because I'm going to have spent it all on travelling and things, but that's fine, you know. I also wanted a bit of a break. I think that's pretty obvious. My life has just been education, exams, just got that on the floor, it's on the towel, it's fine. Education, exams, repeat. For the past, 4 years of exams, but in reality, the past 14 years of my life really has been education. And I want to get at least a master's, if not a PhD, so that's going to be another, well, probably a good decade of my life dedicated to education and exams and qualifications, so I wanted a bit of a break for start my life away to the education system once again. I like the idea of being able to say yes to things. I think that's mainly, you know, that was a big factor in it. People asking me to do things and me just being like, yeah, sure, I can do that. Whereas a year ago or in a year's time, I would have not been able to do that. And I appreciate being able to just go, yeah, sure, I'll do this thing, or I can help with this, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. The next question I get asked, this is mostly by people who are in the year below me, or if they are currently at university and are thinking of taking a year out, and this is, should you take a gap year? For all those reasons listed, obviously I think it's a good idea. I've told you about all the, you know, the benefits of it, the benefits for me anyway, the benefits for you are going to be completely different. There is obviously some things that you need to take into consideration. You can be a year behind everyone of your age, and everyone I know, apart from Lara and a couple of people who are not my age, are at university right now, so they're all going to be a year ahead. They're going to graduate a year before me, etc, etc. I feel like I should do something else before I put this on my head. I know what I'm forgetting. I'm going to put Vaseline in my hairline so I don't stain my head. That's definitely the major consideration, is the fact that the chances are a lot of your friends are going to be moving away. Most of my friends did, so it could be quite isolating, and also the fact that I think sometimes it feels like I'm like still the child living at home and everybody else is like off there being an adult, but it's not really like that. It's just we're doing different things, if you know what I mean. Actually, 2 ways that you can do your gap year if you're taking it after your A-levels, like the traditional age 18 gap year. And one would be you already have your place, which is what I've done. I've applied and got placed on a degree, which I know will be starting next year, and I like the security of that. However, if you're not sure what you want to do, or not even sure if you want to do a degree, it would be really good to take a year out to do some part-time work, do, gap year things, and then apply later, because then you've got things like your A-level results to work on, you've got, you'll be able to, you'll have had time out of education to properly think about it and decide what you're going to do. So I know a lot of people take gap year if they're not sure what they want to do. I know what I want to do, which is good, but you might not. One thing I would take into account if you're thinking about taking a gap year is that you have to be quite self-motivated. When there isn't someone on your back saying you have to do this, or there isn't, student debt telling you you need to do this, otherwise it's a waste of money, then you might not get stuff done. I am quite self-motivated. I mean, I cannot be. I can just be like, I just can't be asked to do anything, but like, everyone's like that sometimes. In general, you have to be able to be like, this is the thing, I want to do this course, or I want to get this job, or I want to, do this TEFL or whatever, and then you have to do it. And you have to, because there's no one telling you to not do it. You could just spend years sitting around in the house watching Netflix, and there's nothing to stop you doing that, apart from possibly your parents. There's also like, see, I'll feel this quite often when it's like, I'll be like, right, I finished this thing, now what? And I think, oh my god, I've got so much time on my hands to fill. How am I possibly ever gonna like find anything to do with all of this time? I have made a bad decision, I am gonna be bored stiff, but that's where the self-motivation thing comes in. You then go, okay, I'm going to find something to do and I'm going to do it, like an online course, or you're going to try and learn a little bit of a language, or you're going to research going away somewhere, or you're going to maybe look into getting a new job or an online job or something like that. If you are thinking of taking one, the biggest piece of advice I can give you would be like, plan ahead. I have a list of things I was going to do. I've been compiling that for a while now, and that was literally just every time I thought of something that I wanted to do and I didn't have time to do, I'd put it on my gap list and I'd do it. I'd be like, right, I don't have time to do this now, but I want to do this thing. However, next year, I know I won't have time to do it, so it went on the list. And then, just got to tell yourself, I've got to get as much done from this list as I possibly can. You've got them written down, you're never going to be stuck, because you're never going to be like, right, what do I do? What do I do this week? What do I do this month? Because you can look at your list and go, right, I said I was going to do this, and I wanted to do it then. I might not feel like it now, but maybe if I try it, I'll want to do it again. That was me with the online courses, because I said I was going to do them, and then when it came to it, I was like, oh, I don't really want to do this right now, and then I started it, and I really enjoyed them. I'll put a link in the description to where I do them as well, because they are free and would highly recommend doing them. Some of the things I'm doing, for example, obviously all the online courses that I want to do. So I want to do like a TEFL course, which is teach English as a foreign language when I get around to it. I'd quite like to look into driver lessons. Again, I don't know if I'm going to go and get my full licence, but I would like to at least have some lessons under my belt for when I do decide to go and get my licence. It's like I have places that I want to travel, so I'm going to Brussels next week, which is not on the list, however, or when you're watching this, sorry, I'll be in Brussels, which is not on the list. However, it is something, that I want to do. I want to travel. I want to go to Stratford, I want to go to Bath, I want to go to Amsterdam. I'd quite like to go to Athens if I have the money. Things like personal goals, like creative goals, like there's things that I want to make, which I'm not going to really explain because they're kind of fully fledged ideas that don't really have a name yet, but like I know that I want to do them. So just create a list of like creative things. Has there been a thing that you've wanted to make, or a hobby that you've always wanted to take up? If you always want to learn knitting, or if you always want to learn the piano, like I'm trying to learn the ukulele at the moment. I told myself I'm going to learn 3 songs, and at the end of that I might be like, okay, that's fine, I have learnt these 3 songs on the ukulele and that was enough for me. But maybe at the end of it I find a skill that I really love, and I end up, it being a hobby that I take on for like the rest of my life. And I also want to read 50 books. I think that's a good example as well, because it's something that I already love doing, I already love reading, but I'm like, I want to make sure that I get as much of it done as possible this year, because it's when I'm going to be able free to do it, and from now on it's just going to be like the only reading I'm going to be able to do is from the end of this gap year onwards, it's going to be like university reading. So I just want to get as much leisurely reading done as I can. And things like, I'd quite like to read a couple of books for education purposes as well, so if they come up next year and I need to read them, I've already read them. I actually have the reading list for this year's course, so the course that I'm taking next year, I have this year's reading list, and there's a good chance that they're going to be different. However, if I read 1 or 2 books off that list, that could be 1 or 2 books less that I have to read next year, which makes my life easier next year. There is, of course, like, the obvious things that you can do as well, like, you can go and volunteer for a year somewhere. Or you can, like, I don't know, backpack around Europe is the stereotype, isn't it? Go backpacking for a year. Which, yeah, you can do that if you want, but if it's not for you, like it wasn't for me, then, like, you need to be thinking about these things. There's a lot of good places that will help you with things like that, if that's what you want to do. There's a lot of websites out there. I can't remember any of them because, as I said, like, it isn't for me, so I haven't really spent that much time on them, but you can also look at things like Camp America or Camps International, so there'll be like a couple of months of volunteering away somewhere in case you don't want to dedicate like your whole year to it. And you can do things like, I'm going to attempt to volunteer at the Edinburgh Festival, if I can get on, which is a month long. And also next year I'm going to be doing an excavation. I really like archaeology, so I'm going to be doing an archaeological excavation, which is work experience, which is also something very useful that you can... Is that purple? No, it's just a shadow. There's also something very useful that you can get done in your gap year. You want to do a short internship, whatever. Would highly recommend doing that because it also means that you get experience in the field that you're going to be working in without it being... you haven't done the degree. So if I go on this excavation and I absolutely hate every single second of it, maybe I should possibly rethink the degree that I'm doing. I don't think I will. I've done excavations before. But, like, for example, I think I've pretty much got most of it right. Yeah, I'll do it right. I'm going to leave this for 20 minutes or so now, and then I'm going to do the rest of my hair. For like 5 minutes or so, because that's what it says to do. But I think that about covers everything that I want to talk about in terms of gap year. So I think I'm going to sign this video off now. It's half an hour long. I think I'm going to be uploading most of it as well because it's kind of a chatty thing, so I apologise for the length of this video. But if you have any questions, well, as always, if you have any requests for questions, then leave them in the comments. But if you have any specific gap year questions, then let me know. I'm not guaranteeing that I'll be able to answer them right now because it is the start of November and I finished my exams in mid-July, I think. So I'm not like, I don't start until next October, so I've got a lot more of my gap year left. So, you know, maybe I'll give you an answer and then in a couple of months' time I will have changed the answer. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it, so I don't know. So yeah, leave anything in the comments and maybe I'll make another one of these in a while when I feel like I've had a bit more experience in my gap year. Thought that was dye, it is not, it is my bracelet. Yep, I think that's everything. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Bye.